You are sitting in your car. The engine is off. The heat is ticking as it cools down, but you don't hear it. You are staring at your phone, and your thumb is hovering over a contact name. You are vibrating. You can feel the adrenaline in your throat because you finally found it. The idea, the path, the exit strategy from the life you hate. You have cracked the code, and you are terrified and ecstatic all at once. You need to tell someone. You need to hear a voice say, "I believe in you." You need to hear, "We can make this work." So you call your best friend. This is the person who swore loyalty to you over drinks 3 weeks ago. The person who said they'd help you move a body. You call them. It rings once, twice. They pick up. You start talking. You are speaking a mile a minute, pouring out your soul, explaining the risk, the potential, the dream. You are vulnerable. You are naked. And then there is a pause. A silence that lasts exactly 2 seconds too long. That sounds intense, they say. And then, without missing a beat, they shift. "Hey, are we still on for Tacos Tuesday? Because I need to talk to you about what Sarah said to me at work." Stop. Pause right there. Feel that? That little drop in your stomach? That is the feeling of you disappearing. You are standing on the edge of a cliff, asking for a hand, and they are asking about tacos. You stop talking about your dream. You swallow it back down. You listen to their drama about Sarah. You validate them. You hang up the phone, and you sit in the silence of your car, and you tell yourself, "They're just busy. They just don't get it yet." Wrong. They get it. They just don't care. But you don't learn the lesson yet. You drive home. You walk through the front door. There is your partner. The person who shares your bed. The person who shares your bills. If anyone is going to back you, it is them. This is your team. This is your ride or die. You walk into the kitchen. They are making dinner. You take a breath. You say, "I need to talk to you. I want to try something. It's risky, but if it works, it changes everything." You watch their face. You are looking for a spark. You are looking for that movie moment where they grab your hand and say, "Let's do it." Instead, their eyes gloss over. A tiny frown forms between their eyebrows. They put down the spatula, and they say the most crushing thing a human being can hear in a moment of vulnerability. "Can we afford that right now?" They don't ask about your passion. They don't ask about your vision. They ask about their security. They look at you, and they don't see a visionary. They see a liability. They see a threat to their comfort. You try to explain. You try to show them the math. You try to sell them on your own potential. And the more you talk, the more they pull away. The air in the kitchen gets cold. You realize, with a sinking horror, that you are not partners in conquest. You are roommates in survival. And you are rocking the boat. You go to sleep that night with your back turned to them. You are lying next to a warm body, but you have never felt colder. But there is one more layer. One final safety net. You think, "Okay, my friends are selfish. My partner is scared. But my father, my blood, the man who raised me, he will understand." So you go to him. Maybe it's a lunch. Maybe it's a phone call. You lay it out. And this time, you aren't just asking for emotional support. You are asking for backing. Maybe a loan. Maybe a connection. Maybe just the reassurance that if you fall, there is a floor. He looks at you. And for the first time, you see him not as dad, but as a man. A tired, cynical man who gave up on his own dreams 30 years ago. He looks at you, and he sees his own failures reflecting back at him. He doesn't want you to fly, because if you fly, it proves that he could have flown too, but he was too cowardly to try. So he cuts you down. He doesn't do it with anger. He does it with wisdom. He tells you to be realistic. He tells you about the economy. He tells you to keep your head down and be grateful for your salary. He tells you that people like us don't take risks like that. He doesn't support you. He anchors you. He hands you his own fear and tells you it's for your own good. And that is the moment. The moment you are standing in the middle of a crowded room, or a family dinner, or lying in bed next to someone you love, and you realize the absolute, terrifying truth. The room is empty. There is nobody coming. No cavalry. No safety net. No rich uncle. No supportive spouse. No loyal best friend. You look to your left, you look to your right, and there is only empty space. Most people break right here. They feel the cold wind of zero support, and they run back inside. They apologize to the friend. They promise the partner they won't take the risk. They agree with the father. They kill the dream to keep the warmth. But you are going to stay out in the cold. You are going to look at that empty space and realize that it isn't a tragedy. It is a clearing. Niccolò Machiavelli wrote that a prince who relies on the support of others is building his house on mud. You are hurt because you think you deserve support. You think loyalty is the default setting of the human animal. You are wrong. You are operating on a fantasy. The reality is that people are not against you. They are simply for themselves. And until you provide them with value, security, or power, you are nothing to them. This pain you feel, this betrayal, this is not the end of your journey. This is the admission price. You have just been stripped of your illusions. Good. You can't carry them where you're going anyway. You are standing at ground zero. You have zero support. You have zero backing. You have zero belief from the people who are supposed to love you. Perfect. Now you are dangerous. You are now standing in the wreckage of your expectations. You are looking at the phone that didn't ring. You are looking at the door that closed. And if you are honest with yourself, if you are truly, brutally honest, you will admit that this wasn't a surprise. This wasn't a glitch. This was a pattern. You have been ignoring the data for years. You have been painting over the cracks with your own hope. But let's scrape off the paint. Let's look at the structure of your relationships under the microscope. Because what happened with your big dream? That wasn't an isolated incident. That was just the volume turned up. Look at the Tuesday nights. You are the good listener. You are the rock. You have spent hundreds of hours, literally hundreds of hours of your finite life, listening to your friends complain about the same three problems. The bad boss, the toxic ex, the vague sense of ennui. You sit there. You nod. You offer solutions they never take. You absorb their anxiety like a sponge. You think you are building social capital. You think you are banking goodwill. But then, the pattern repeats. You have a bad day. Not a catastrophic day, just a heavy one. You send a text. You need to vent for 5 minutes. And what do you get back? I literally can't right now. I don't have the bandwidth for this. I need to protect my peace. Weaponized therapy speak. They use the language of mental health to tell you to shut up. They aren't setting boundaries. They are telling you your role. Your role is the dumpster for their emotions. You are not authorized to be the dumper. You are the NPC, non-player character, in their video game. Does the shopkeeper in Zelda get to complain to the hero about his back pain? No. He sells the potion, he smiles, and he waits until he is needed again. That is you. Look at the good news dynamic. This is the subtlest and cruelest pattern of all. When you fail, they are there. Have you noticed that? When you get dumped, when you lose your job, when you are sick, they show up. They bring the soup. They offer the shoulder. You think, see? They love me. Wrong. They love the power dynamic. When you are down, they are up. Your misery makes them feel secure. Your failure makes their mediocrity feel like a safe choice. Pity is cheap. Pity is easy. Pity is an ego boost for the giver. But watch what happens when you win. You get a promotion. You lose 20 pounds. You start that business and make your first sale. You put it in the group chat. You share the win. Watch the timestamps. Silence. 5 minutes. 10 minutes. An hour. Then, finally, someone responds. Cool. Or the worst one. Must be nice. Or the deflection. That's great. But did you hear that Mike got fired? They pivot away from your success as if it burns their eyes. Because it does. Your success holds up a mirror to their stagnation. If you can do it, why can't they? It is uncomfortable. So they punish you for it. They withhold the dopamine. They train you, like a dog, that suffering gets you treats, attention, but success gets you the cold shoulder. And you, desperate for connection, subconsciously start to self-sabotage just to keep them close. You learn to be smaller so you don't lose them. Look at the emergency flake. You help them move apartments. You drive them to the airport at 4 a.m. You lend them money you can't afford to lose. You are the reliable one. Then, you are in a jam. Your car breaks down. You are stranded. You call the list. Friend A. Oh man, I totally would, but I'm already in my pajamas. Friend B. I'm at dinner, sorry. Friend C. Let me know when you get home safe. They offer thoughts. They offer prayers. They offer emojis. They do not offer a ride. And you stand there on the side of the road, rain hitting your face, realizing that your investments in these people have yielded zero returns. You have been paying into an insurance policy that was never valid. This is the anatomy of betrayal. But the betrayal isn't that they are evil. That would be too easy. If they were villains, you could fight them. The betrayal is that they are indifferent. They are solipsistic. They are the main characters of their own movies, and in their script, you are a supporting character. Supporting characters don't have arcs. They don't have needs. They exist to push the plot forward for the star. When you demand support for your own arc, you are breaking the script. You are malfunctioning. And they look at you with confusion, then irritation, then apathy. You are hurting because you think you have a contract with them. I sacrificed for you, so you must sacrifice for me. That contract exists only in your head. You signed it, you notarized it, and you filed it. They never even saw it. You are playing a game of reciprocity with people who are playing a game of consumption. And until you see this pattern, until you stop calling it bad luck and start calling it human nature, you will keep getting your heart broken on a Tuesday afternoon over a text message that never comes. You are waiting for the world to be fair. The world is waiting for you to wake up. You are sitting in the dark, nursing your resentment. You are replaying the scenes, the unanswered texts, the glazed-over eyes, the father who told you to settle. You are building a case in your head. You are the prosecutor, and you are charging them all with negligence. You are telling yourself a story about how you are the victim of a selfish world. Stop. Drop the gavel. Because here comes the gut punch. Here comes the truth that is going to hurt more than the rejection itself. You are not a victim of their selfishness. You are a victim of your own entitlement. You are walking around with a secret ledger in your pocket, a mental spreadsheet where you track every nice thing you've ever done. You track the rides. You track the listening sessions. You track the loyalty. And you arrogantly assumed, that the world operates on a barter system. I give kindness, I receive support. I give loyalty, I receive backing. You think you were being a good friend or a dutiful son. You weren't. You were a merchant. You were engaging in a transaction. But you never told the other party the price. You gave them your time and your energy, and secretly, silently, you billed them for it. You said, I am doing this for you. But in your heart, you whispered, so that one day you will have to do this for me. This is called a covert contract, and it is the single most toxic lie nice people tell themselves. You signed a contract with your friend. I will listen to your drama, provided you support my business later. Did they sign it? No. Did they even know it existed? No. You signed a contract with your father. I will be the good child, provided you believe in my vision. Did he sign it? No. So when you try to cash in these chips, and they look at you with blank faces, they aren't defaulting on a loan. They are confused. Because to them, you were just being nice. To them, those were gifts. You are the one suddenly screaming that they were loans with high interest rates. This is the uncomfortable reality. Your expectation of support is a form of weakness. When you get angry that no one is helping you, you are broadcasting a signal to the universe. You are broadcasting, I cannot do this alone. You are broadcasting, I need your permission to succeed. You are broadcasting, my vision is not strong enough to survive your indifference. And people smell that stench. They smell the neediness. And nothing repels investment, emotional or financial, like neediness. Think about it. Would you invest in a company that said, please buy our stock. If you don't, we will collapse? No. You invest in the company that says, we are going to the moon with or without you. Get on or get left behind. You have been pitching your dream like a charity case. Please support me. Please understand me. You are begging, and beggars get ignored. This hurts. I know it hurts. You want to believe that love means unconditional support. You want to believe that family means investor. But look at the evidence. Look at the data. That is not how the world works. The world is not a nursery. It is a market. In a market, you don't get what you deserve. You get what you have the leverage to negotiate. And right now, you have zero leverage. You are just a person with a dream and a handful of invisible IOUs. You have to accept the death of the fair world. The fair world is the fantasy where good people are rewarded and bad people are punished. In the fair world, your friends should care. Your partner should sacrifice. Your dad should be proud. Kill that world. Bury it in the backyard. It doesn't exist. The real world is a place of gravity and physics. In the real world, people do what serves them. Supporting you is risky. It takes energy. It threatens their status quo. Why should they support you? Because you're nice? Nice is cheap. Because you're related? Blood is biology, not a suicide pact. Because you have potential? Potential is invisible until it is realized. The moment you stop expecting them to care is the moment you become free. As long as you are waiting for them to clap, you are dancing for their amusement. You are a performer waiting for applause that isn't coming. When you realize the audience is empty, when you realize the theater is dark, you can stop dancing. You can get off the stage. You can go outside and start building the building. This is the pivot point. You can stay angry. You can stay bitter. You can spend the next 10 years complaining about how your friends weren't there for you and how your family held you back. That is a valid choice. It is the choice of the victim. It is the choice of the mediocre man who needs an excuse for why he never launched. Or, you can look at that empty room. You can look at that unsigned contract. You can rip it up. You can say, okay, nobody owes me anything. Not a dollar. Not a minute. Not a kind word. I am starting with a balance of zero. That sounds terrifying, but it is actually the most powerful position on the chessboard. Because if nobody gave you anything, nobody owns you. 500 years ago, a man sat in exile. He had been tortured. He had been stripped of his job. He had been thrown out of the city he loved. He was sitting in a dusty farmhouse, completely alone. His name was Niccolò Machiavelli. And in that silence, stripped of all support, he wrote the code that governs the world. You probably think Machiavelli is the bad guy. You think The Prince is a book about how to be evil. Wrong. Machiavelli wasn't evil. He was an ophthalmologist. He fixed people's vision. He looked at the world not as it should be, but as it is. And the very first thing he would tell you about your situation, about your empty corner, your silent phone, your unsupportive father, is that this is not a curse. It is a necessary condition for power. Machiavelli divided the world into two forces, Fortuna and Virtù. Fortuna is luck. It is chance. It is the external world. When you ask for support, you are playing Fortuna. When you wait for your partner to get it, you are betting on Fortuna. When you need your father's approval to feel confident, you are a slave to Fortuna. Why? Because you cannot control them. They are rivers. They might flow your way today and flood your house tomorrow. If your confidence depends on their applause, what happens when they stop clapping? You collapse. The prince who relies on Fortuna is ruined the moment the wind changes. Virtù is different. Do not confuse this with virtue. It has nothing to do with being a good boy. It has nothing to do with morality. Virtù means prowess. It means capability. It means the raw, strategic power to force the world to bend to your will. Virtù is what you own. It is your skill, your discipline, your resilience, your ability to strategize. Here is the dark truth Machiavelli wants you to swallow. Dependency is dangerous. He wrote extensively about auxiliary forces, armies borrowed from other powerful neighbors. He said that using someone else's army is the most foolish mistake a leader can make. He wrote, "If they lose, you are defeated. If they win, you are their prisoner." Read that again. If they win, you are their prisoner. Imagine if your father had given you that money. Imagine if he had fully funded your dream. You think that would be great? Pause. Think about the dynamic. He would own you. Every decision you made, he would have a veto. I paid for this, so you do it my way. You would not be the CEO of your life. You would be an employee in his ego project. You would be successful, yes, but you would be a prisoner. Imagine if your friends had jumped on board immediately. You would owe them. You would have to carry them. You would have to split the equity of your glory with people who didn't have the vision, only the proximity. Machiavelli is telling you that the zero support you are crying about is actually the only path to true sovereignty. By having no one, you are forced to develop virtù. You cannot lean on a crutch, so your legs must get strong. You cannot call the cavalry, so you must become the army. You cannot borrow the money, so you must learn to generate it. The pain you feel is the weakness leaving your body. It is the death of your reliance on Fortuna. The universe has looked at you and said, this one we will not pamper. This one we will isolate. Why? To see if you will fold, or if you will forge yourself into steel. Most people are built on the swamp of other people's opinions. They are a patchwork of their mother's love, their teacher's praise, and their spouse's reassurance. If you strip that away, there is nothing left. They are hollow. But you are being forced to build on bedrock. You are being forced to build a foundation that is 100% you. And a house built on virtù cannot be blown down. Because the only pillar holding it up is you, and you are not going anywhere. So, stop looking for the auxiliary forces. Stop waiting for the reinforcements. Machiavelli is screaming at you from the grave. It is better to be alone than to be indebted. You have been given the gift of necessity. You have no choice but to succeed, because there is no safety net to catch you. And that makes you the most dangerous player in the game. You are telling yourself that you need their support because you need their resources. You think you need the money, or the time, or the connections. That is a lie. If I gave you $1,000,000 today, but told you that your father would be disappointed in you and your friends would hate you, would you still take it? You'd hesitate. You'd feel sick. Because you aren't chasing resources. You are chasing permission. This is the shadow truth about why you are so obsessed with who is and isn't in your corner. You are looking for a cosigner on your life. When you go to your partner and explain your dream, you aren't just sharing information. You are handing them a pen. You are saying, please sign here. Please acknowledge that this is a good idea. Please tell me I'm not crazy. Why do you do this? Because if they sign the permission slip, the risk is shared. If you fail, you can say, well, we thought it was a good idea. If you fail, you aren't the idiot. You're just part of a team that had bad luck. But if you go it alone, if you move without the permission slip, then the risk is 100% yours. If you fail, you are the only one to blame. You are the fool. You are the one who miscalculated. And that terrifies you. You crave support because you are terrified of total accountability. You want an accomplice so you don't have to face the solitary confinement of failure. There is an even darker angle here. Deep down, in the parts of your brain you don't like to look at, you might actually want them to say no. Think about the father you keep going back to. The one you know is cynical. The one you know will shoot you down. Why do you keep pitching him? Are you stupid? No. Are you a masochist? Maybe. But the real reason is that his rejection serves a function for you. When he says, that's too risky, part of you, the scared, childish part, breathes a sigh of relief. Because now you have an excuse. Now you can say, well, I wanted to start that business, but my family didn't support me. I wanted to chase that dream, but the people around me were too negative. His lack of support becomes your shield. It becomes the story you tell yourself to justify staying in your comfort zone. You use his cynicism to validate your own cowardice. You are using their lack of support to martyr yourself. Look how hard I have it, you say. I'm all alone. And that narrative feels good. It feels safer than the alternative. The alternative is that nobody is stopping you but you. The alternative is that their opinions are irrelevant, and you are free to jump whenever you want. But if you jump, you might fall. So you keep asking the people who will tell you not to jump. You keep handing the gun to people you know will pull the trigger, just so you can say you were shot. You are an addict. You are addicted to external validation because you have an internal void. You are trying to run a high-performance engine using AA batteries you beg from strangers. Tell me I'm good. Tell me I can do it. Tell me I'm special. It is exhausting. It is pathetic. And it is the behavior of a child. A child needs their parents to tell them the world is safe. A child looks back at mom before going down the slide. Are you a child? Or are you a sovereign adult? A sovereign adult does not ask for permission to exist. A sovereign adult does not need a consensus to act. A sovereign adult looks at the data, makes a decision, and accepts the consequences, win or lose. You have to stop treating your life like a democracy. It is not a democracy. It is a dictatorship, and you are the dictator. When you ask for a vote, you are handing away your crown. You are letting the peasants, who have never built anything, never risked anything, never achieved anything, vote on the direction of the kingdom. And then you cry when they vote for safety. Of course they voted for safety. They are peasants. The reason you fall for this trap, the reason you keep going back to the dry well seeking water, is that you haven't decided to be the source yet. You are still waiting to be filled up. But here is the catch. The cup has a hole in the bottom. No amount of "you can do it" from your friends will ever be enough to fix your self-doubt. You will drain them dry. and you will still be empty. The only way to fix the hole is to stop asking for water and start building the well. You have to validate yourself through action. You have to prove to yourself that you can survive the cold. Once you do that, once you take the first step into the dark without a flashlight from anyone else, the addiction breaks. You realize you didn't need the permission slip. You just needed the guts. Let's flip the lens. You've been crying because nobody gave you a hand. Now, let's look at what happens when they do. Let's imagine the alternative universe where you got exactly what you wanted. Imagine your uncle gave you that $50,000 loan to start your business. Imagine your friend pulled some strings and got you that high-level job. Imagine your partner paid all the bills so you could find yourself. You think you'd be free? You would be a slave. Because in the dark economy of human relationships, there is no such thing as a grant. There are only loans. And the interest rate on a social loan is variable, invisible, and infinite. This is the trap of the favor. When someone helps you, they are buying shares in your autonomy. They are purchasing the right to comment on your life. If your uncle lends you money, he isn't just a lender, he is now a board member. You're at Thanksgiving dinner. You're talking about a new strategy for the business. He interrupts. He gives you advice that is outdated by 20 years. And what do you do? Do you tell him he's wrong? Do you tell him to stay in his lane? No. You smile. You nod. You eat your turkey. Why? Because he owns you. If you disrespect him, you aren't just rude. You're ungrateful. You are trapped in a cage of gratitude. You cannot pivot, you cannot risk, and you cannot speak freely, because you are terrified of upsetting the patron. Machiavelli knew this. He warned that accepting favors is more dangerous than accepting insults. An insult you can fight, a favor you must repay, and the repayment never ends. Think about the friend who got you the job. Every day you walk into that office, you are wearing a collar. You hate the boss. You can't quit. It would make your friend look bad. You want a raise? You feel guilty asking, because you should be lucky to be here. Your merit didn't get you in the room, their influence did. And that knowledge eats at your self-respect like acid. You wonder every single day, could I have done this on my own? And you will never know the answer. That doubt will haunt you until you die. Now, look at your situation. Look at your empty corner. It's cold. It's lonely. It's hard. But look at your wrists. No chains. You have the freedom of zero debt. This is a strategic advantage that is almost impossible to buy. When you succeed, and you will succeed if you embrace this, you will owe exactly 0% of your victory to anyone else. Your cap table is clean. In business, the cap table is the list of people who own a piece of the company. A messy cap table kills companies. Too many investors, too many voices, too many people wanting a payout. Your life's cap table has one name on it: you. This means you can pivot tomorrow and ask no one's permission. This means you can keep 100% of the glory. This means that when you finally stand on the mountaintop, you don't have to spend your acceptance speech thanking the people who made this possible. You made it possible. There is a specific kind of power that radiates from a person who owes nothing. When you walk into a room, you don't have to kiss the ring. You don't have to laugh at bad jokes. You don't have to temper your truth to protect someone else's ego. You are a wild animal in a room full of domesticated pets. The pets have regular meals. They have warm beds. They have support. But they are on leashes. You are hungry. You are scarred. You are tired. But you can run in any direction you choose. And here is the sweetest part. The part the Machiavellian in you will savor. One day, the tables will turn. One day, the people who refused to help you, the friends who were busy, the father who was cynical, they will come back. They will see your success. They will smell the virtue, and they will want in. They will say, I always knew you could do it. They will say, I'm so proud of us. Us. And because you took nothing from them, because you didn't take their money, their pity, or their advice, you have the absolute moral authority to look them in the eye and smile the coldest smile in history. You can say, there is no us. There is only me. You were not there in the trenches. You do not get to sit at the feast. If you had taken their help, you would have to let them in. You would have to share the spoils. But you didn't. So the spoils are yours. Every dollar, every accolade, every ounce of pride, it is all yours. So stop crying about the empty seat at your table. A crowded table is a liability. An empty table means you have room to spread out your maps and plan the conquest without a single spy in the room. You think you want the spotlight. You think you want the applause. You are imagining the movie premiere where everyone is cheering for you. But you are forgetting what comes with the light. Heat. Blinding, scorching heat. Let's talk about the person who did get the support. Let's talk about the golden child. We all know one. The cousin who got the funding. The friend who was labeled most likely to succeed. The one the family rallied around. They are not free. They are paralyzed. Because when everyone is watching you, you cannot move. Every step they take is analyzed. Every mistake is a public scandal. If they want to pivot, if they realize they hate law school and want to be a chef, they can't. The investors, the parents, the friends will revolt. But we sacrificed so much for you. You have such a bright future. They are trapped in the identity that the support created for them. They are terrified to experiment because the cost of failure is public humiliation. Now look at you. You are in the dark. You are in the shadows. Nobody cares what you are doing. Your father isn't asking for updates. Your friends aren't checking your LinkedIn. You feel invisible. Good. Invisibility is a superpower. This is the fog of war. In warfare, the fog is what allows the guerrilla army to maneuver. The fog hides your numbers. It hides your position. It hides your mistakes. Because you have zero support and zero audience, you have the ultimate luxury, the freedom to fail in private. You can try a business idea on Tuesday. It can fail miserably on Wednesday. Who saw it? Nobody. Who is laughing at you? Nobody. You can dust yourself off, change your name, change your strategy, and try again on Thursday. You have infinite lives. You can respawn as many times as you want because nobody is keeping score. You can change your identity. The golden child is locked in. He is the lawyer. He cannot change. But you? Since nobody gets you, nobody has pinned you down. You can be a writer today, a coder tomorrow, a salesman next week. You are fluid. You can shape-shift until you find the form that wins. Machiavelli taught that a prince must be a great simulator and dissimulator. He must be able to wear a mask. He must be able to hide his true intentions until the moment he strikes. Your lack of support is the ultimate mask. People think you are a loser. They think you are stagnant. They think you are lost. Let them. Think it. Feed them that story. Yeah, things are tough. Yeah, I'm just figuring it out. Nod. Look pathetic. Let them feel superior. While they are gloating, you are in the basement sharpening the knife. While they are distracted by their own success and support groups, you are running simulations. You are testing the market. You are building the infrastructure. There is a strategic advantage to being underestimated. When you have support, people see you coming. They put up their defenses. Competitors try to block you. Jealous friends try to sabotage you. But when you are the failure, when you are the one nobody bets on, the gates are left open. Nobody guards the back door against the janitor. Nobody guards the throne room against the beggar. You can walk right into the castle of success because nobody perceives you as a threat. You are operating in stealth mode. And by the time they realize what you have done, by the time you launch the product, or buy the house, or reveal the empire, it is too late for them to stop you. If you had support, you would have had to announce your plans. I'm going to do X. And then the crabs in the bucket would have grabbed your ankles. That's risky. Are you sure? My cousin tried that and failed. The support would have talked you out of it. The doubts of the group would have infected your mind. But in the silence, in the vacuum of zero support, there is no noise. There is only your voice. You can hear your own intuition clearly for the first time because it isn't being drowned out by advice. So thank them. Thank the friend who ghosted you. Thank the partner who doubted you. They gave you the cloak of invisibility. They turned off the spotlight so you could work in the dark. And it is in the dark that the monsters are made. Let's talk about why you haven't won yet. You think it's because you lack resources. You think it's because the world is unfair. No, it's because you haven't been desperate enough. Human beings are designed to be efficient. That is the biological term. The real term is lazy. Your brain is wired to conserve energy. If there is an easy way, it will take the easy way. If there is a couch, it will sit. If there is a safety net, it will fall. This is the tragedy of the supported man. When you have a supportive family, a loving partner, and a group of loyal friends, you have a cushion. If you lose your job, you can move back home. If your business fails, your wife says, "It's okay, honey, we'll make it work." If you give up on your dreams, your friends say, "At least you tried." This sounds lovely. It sounds like love. But to a Machiavellian, it sounds like a sedative. Support is the morphine that dulls the pain of mediocrity. It makes failure comfortable. And because failure is comfortable, you don't fight like a demon to avoid it. You fight like a hobbyist. Machiavelli identified the single most powerful force in human psychology. He called it necessità, necessity. He wrote that men never do good unless necessity drives them to it. He observed that armies who were well-fed, well-paid, and had a clear escape route often lost. They had too many options. When the fighting got hard, they thought about the escape route. They thought about home. Their resolve crumbled. But put that same army on death ground. Back them up against a raging river. Burn their boats. Surround them with enemies and give them zero hope of rescue. What happens? They turn into monsters. They fight with a ferocity that defies logic. Why? Because they have to. There is no plan B. There is no "it's okay, honey." There is only victory or death. Look at your life. You have been crying because you are on death ground. You are looking at the raging river behind you, the silence of your friends, the indifference of your father, and you are terrified. You shouldn't be. You should be exhilarated. The universe has burned your boats for you. You didn't have the courage to light the match, so the world did it. For you. Your unsupportive father? He burned the boat of inheritance. Your selfish friends? They burned the boat of social safety. Your doubting partner? They burned the boat of emotional refuge. You have nowhere to retreat to. If you turn back, there is nothing but the cold realization that you were right about them. So you can only go forward. You are now powered by the necessity engine. This is a fuel source that the supported people will never understand. They run on motivation. Motivation is cheap. Motivation flickers. Motivation dies when you are tired. You run on survival. Survival never flickers. Survival doesn't care if you are tired. When you have zero support, Every dollar you make is a matter of life and death. Every connection you build is a lifeline. You pay attention to details that others miss. You work hours that others won't. You endure humiliation that would break a softer man. Why? Because you have to. This creates a different species of human. Look at the most successful people in history. Look at the tycoons, the conquerors, the icons. How many of them had a balanced upbringing with supportive environments? Almost none. They were orphans. They were outcasts. They were immigrants with $5 in their pocket. They were people who had the door slammed in their face 1,000 times. The void behind them pushed them forward. You are currently crying about the very thing that is going to make you rich. You are complaining that you don't have a parachute. Good. If you don't have a parachute, you are forced to learn how to fly. And you have to learn fast. The ground is coming up. The people with parachutes, the people with support, are drifting down slowly. They will land safely in the valley of the average. But you are in free fall. Panic, struggle, scream, and then snap your wings open. The zero support environment is the evolutionary pressure cooker. It will either crush you or it will turn you into a diamond. There is no middle ground. And since you are still here, listening to this, you haven't been crushed yet. So stop looking for the exit. Stop looking for the hand. Embrace the necessity. Tell yourself, I will succeed because I have no other choice. That is a sentence that shakes the earth. We have spent this entire time talking about them. The selfish friend, the cynical father, the doubtful partner. We have put them on trial, presented the evidence, and found them guilty of negligence. It feels good, doesn't it? It feels righteous. But now, I need you to do something very difficult. I need you to take the finger you are pointing at them and slowly, painfully, turn it around until it is pointing at your own chest. Here is the truth nobody else will tell you. You are not just a victim of this dynamic. You are the architect of it. You are surrounded by unsupportive people. Okay. Who chose them? Who stays with them? Who keeps calling them? You. You are not a prisoner. You are a volunteer. You walk into the cage every single day, lock the door from the inside, and then scream that you can't get out. Why would you do this? Why would you surround yourself with people who drain you? Because, in a twisted, subconscious way, it serves you. If you are surrounded by people who don't believe in you, you have the perfect alibi for failure. If you don't launch the business, you can say, well, my partner didn't support me. If you don't take the risk, you can say, my dad messed with my head. Their lack of support is your safety blanket. It allows you to stay small without feeling the guilt of wasted potential. You can blame them for your mediocrity. If you had a room full of people cheering for you, handing you money, and clearing the path, you would have no excuses left. You would be naked in front of your own potential. And if you failed then, it would be 100% on you. That is terrifying. So you subconsciously select people who will let you off the hook. You choose the partner who doesn't. Get it? You chase the friend who doesn't care. Because as long as you are fighting for their approval, you don't have to fight for your dreams. You are distracted. You are busy playing the victim instead of playing the game. And there is a deeper layer. The reason you tolerate their disrespect is that you agree with them. When your father treats your dream like a joke, it hurts because a part of you thinks it is a joke. When your friend ignores your needs, it stings because a part of you believes your needs don't matter. They are just holding up a mirror. They are treating you exactly the way you treat yourself. Think about it. Do you support you? When you say you're going to the gym, do you show up? Or do you flake? When you say you're going to work on your project, do you do it? Or do you scroll on your phone? You flake on yourself. You ghost your own goals. You betray your own promises. You are the first unsupportive friend in your life. You are the first cynical parent. You treat your own word like garbage, and then you are shocked, when the world treats it the same way. The world is a feedback loop. It reads your signal and amplifies it back to you. You are broadcasting, I am not worth listening to. I am not worth investing in. I am optional. And the world says, understood. We will treat you as optional. This is the moment of radical responsibility. As long as you believe the problem is out there, that you just need to find better friends or fix your dad, you will stay stuck. You will keep meeting the same demon with different faces. You will dump the partner, and the next one will be just as dismissive. You will find new friends, and they will be just as selfish. Because the common denominator is you. You have to break the contract with your own shadow. You have to stop using lack of support as a crutch. You have to admit, I am staying in these relationships because I am afraid to be powerful. Machiavelli said that a prince must learn how not to be. Good. In your case, you must learn how not to be a victim. You have to stop tolerating the intolerable. The moment you truly value yourself, the moment you truly believe in your mission, you will become allergic to these people. You won't have to cut them off with a big dramatic speech. You will simply stop engaging. You will stop calling. You will stop explaining. Because a lion doesn't try to convince a sheep to go hunting. But as long as you are still sitting at the table, begging for scraps of validation, you belong at that table. You are getting exactly the amount of respect you demand, which is zero. The betrayal isn't happening to you. It is being participated in by you. And you are the only one who can stop it. We have reached the end of the line. The diagnosis is complete. You know exactly what is happening. You know why they ignore you. You know why you let them. You know the Machiavellian truth about power and leverage. Now, you are standing at a fork in the road. And unlike the fake choices your friends give you, Italian or Mexican, this choice actually matters. This choice will determine whether you die a supporting character or live as a protagonist. Option A, the sleepwalker. You turn off this video. You feel a momentary spark of motivation, but then you let it fade. You go back to the group chat. You go back to the unsupportive partner. You apologize for being distant. You pick up the heavy, invisible contract of expectation and you strap it back onto your shoulders. You spend the next 10, 20, 30 years trying to explain yourself. You keep begging for the loan. You keep begging for the good job. And you will wake up at 65 years old, bitter and exhausted. You will look at your life and realize you spent your entire existence dancing for an audience that was looking at their phones. You will be the nice guy. You will be the loyal friend. And you will be utterly, devastatingly forgotten. This path is comfortable. It is familiar. And it is a slow suicide of the soul. Option B, the sovereign. You choose the cold. You choose the empty room. You accept, right now, that nobody is coming. You accept that you are an orphan in this game. You stop explaining. You stop pitching. You stop seeking permission. You look at the empty chair where your supporters should be, and you say, fine, I will sit there too. You become your own investor. You become your own believer. You become your own father. If you choose option B, here is your immediate battle plan. This is not advice. This is a command. 1. Embrace the silence. Omerta. Stop talking about your moves. Stop telling your friends what you are gonna do. Every time you tell them your plan, and they give you a lukewarm reaction, you lose power. You leak energy. Zip your mouth. If you are building a business, build it in silence. If you are getting fit, wear baggy clothes until the results are undeniable. Deny them the opportunity to doubt you. If they don't know what you are doing, They cannot sabotage it. 2. Audit your circle. You don't need to make a dramatic scene. You don't need to block everyone today. That is reactive. Just demote them. The friend who never listens? He is no longer a friend. He is an acquaintance. You have coffee with him once a month, you talk about the weather, and you leave. You stop investing your soul in a penny stock. The partner who doubts you? You stop bringing your dreams to them. You share the bills, you share the bed, but you do not share the vision until the vision is a reality. You protect the flame. 3. Build the virtue. Take all the energy you used to waste on complaining, all the hours you spent venting, analyzing texts, feeling hurt, and pour it into the work. Work is the only prayer that the universe answers. Become so good that they cannot ignore you. Become so successful that their support becomes irrelevant. When you are a king, you do not care if the peasant cheers for you. You do not care if the peasant likes you. You simply exist, and your power speaks for itself. This is the Machiavellian way. It is not about being evil. It is about being effective. It is about realizing that fear, respect, is safer than love. You wanted them to love you. You wanted them to coddle you. Forget it. Make them respect you. They will respect you when you no longer need them. They will respect you when you succeed without their permission. They will respect you when they realize that you walked through the valley of the shadow of death alone, and you came out the other side holding the head of the beast. So, look around that empty room one last time. It's not empty. It's spacious. It's clean. It's yours. There is no noise here. No doubters. No cynics. No anchors. Just you, the work, and the open road. You asked for support? Here is the only support you will ever get. You are capable of bearing the weight of your own life. Now get up, close the door, and get to work.